Good morning. Thought I'd pop in. I've been busy this morning writing away, doing articles about a particular topic on school uniforms. And the more I wrote, the more that I found I had to write. So I just wanted to pop in because I've missed doing regular lives, and I think I'm going to do a live every day between now and going back to school and talk a little bit about the school countdown. So I'm Kim Dunn from Positive Young Minds, and if this is your first video of mine you're seeing, welcome. So uniforms, they can be the bane of a parent's life. Over the years I've had lots of conversations and discussions with children and adolescents and their parents and schools about uniform modifications. There are a couple of reasons why schools have uniforms. One, school branding. You look at a child and you kind of know what school they go to. Two, it's meant to be a bit of an equaliser so that students aren't competing with each other to wear the best and the latest brands, because everyone needs to wear the same uniform. And one great thing about it is it takes away choice and decision making and what am I going to wear, and fights about that. However, our children are not a one size fits all, and there are a number of reasons why standard uniform doesn't work for lots of kids. Don't get me wrong, I'm really all about this is the uniform and wherever possible you should wear this. But it's wherever possible. And there's no point putting a uniform on if a child's going to sit in class and not be able to concentrate because their uniform is so distracting. And if you have a child with special sensory sensitivities, you understand what I'm saying. You know, it's an itchy jumper, or I can feel the ridges on my socks, and that's very distracting in a school environment. My tie is choking me. My pants are annoying. So they're very real obstacles that can get in the way of a child's learning. Now, we're all about making the best learning opportunities available for all children, and uniforms come into it. So if there are a couple of tips if this is an issue you have at home. And if you know people who struggle with this, please share this video with them or direct them to the Facebook page to have a look at the articles, or my website, because I've shared it across all my platforms because I think it's so important. So number one, get used to it. You know, buy the shoes early enough. Buy the uniform, have the uniform there, let them wear the uniform around the house and try it on. And do that. You can extend the time. So if it is annoying for the child, let them do it for, even 5 minutes, and maybe one piece of uniform rather than the whole lot. You may need to break it down and then extend that time exposure and see how they go. Now, if you've given that a red hot go and it doesn't work, then it's time for the next step. But I'll go back to tip number 2. Really consider, wherever you can, second-hand uniforms. 1, much better for the environment. 2, they're already pre-worn, so they're often softer for your child and often don't create as much sensitivity issues. So that's the second tip. The third tip, if you've tried the exposure, tried the second-hand uniforms, and it's just not working for your child, third tip is speak to the school. Look at the modifications that you think and your child thinks it's going to work for them. It might be shorts in winter instead of long pants. It might be shorts instead of a skirt or a dress for the girls. It might be wearing a long sleeve top under a dress. It might be not wearing a tie or wearing it loose. It might be not wearing a jumper, wearing the blazer instead. Now, there's variations within the school uniform before you look at supplementing or not wearing the school uniform at all. It might be not school socks, but different socks that don't have the ridges. So what is important for modifications is going to vary between children. So it's very much an individual modification. And it's not a free-for-all, let's throw the whole uniform out, it doesn't work. It's working with your child, working with the school. And once that plan is set in place, support that. Make sure it's in your child's record and that they have a note they can carry around. So whether it's for a substitute teacher in the playground, or someone who doesn't know your child well. Hi, Christine. It takes the stress off the child if they get bowed up and go, why aren't you wearing correct socks? Or where are your school shoes if they have to wear the sports shoe instead of their school shoe? So these aren't insurmountable obstacles, but they're the sort of things that if you don't work on will cause problems. Because if you don't have a plan in place with the school, your child's going to get pulled up every so often. You're going to be frustrated as a parent, and we're just going to have meltdowns. So I'll just recap for those 3 points. So number 1, expose your child to the uniform and test out their sensitivities. See which can be fixed over time with increased exposure. Secondhand uniforms, which help for 2 reasons. They're often less sensitive, and environmentally they're the way to go. Thirdly, make a plan. Talk to the school, communicate, get that written down and approved. Stick with those 3 plans, and hopefully a lot of your uniform challenges will disappear. Now, before I go, one more thing. When to fight the school for full-scale modifications. This can happen with girls. For many, many years, a lot of schools wouldn't even consider letting girls wear shorts, letting them wear shorts like the boys in summer over a dress. Schools have changed and are changing, but if your school is still one of those that hasn't jumped on the bandwagon, that's worth fighting for. And just when you think that would be the end of it, girl shorts versus boy shorts, and quite often they can be made of different material. And I'm not mentioning names, but in a school that brought in girl shorts, they didn't have the same pockets the boys had. It was like, boys need pockets. Pockets are practical. Girls don't need pockets. Not quite sure where that logic comes from, but it's very interesting to see that gender discrimination is still there. And if you have a child who doesn't identify as either gender or not their cisgender, then that may create additional obstacles as well, and that needs to be sorted out with the school. So uniforms aren't trivial as what they may seem. They can be quite a source of consternation, but there are ways to work through it. So if you need help with this or any other school issue, feel free to message me. Have a look. We're here to help either online or personally. So thanks for joining me, Christine. Hope you found this useful. If you're watching the video afterwards and you actually have found it useful, it would be wonderful for you to leave a comment. Just a yes, thanks, or leave a question. Really helps the reach, helps the message get out to more and more people, and I would really appreciate it. Okay, thanks for now. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.